Hi, this is Prac with iRepairmd. Today we will be replacing a cracked glass and digitizer on an iPad Air. This is a 64 gigabyte version with the LTE card. And for this repair you will need, of course, a new digitizer. And this is how you can tell when it's original Apple. The fake Apple one will have a silver band around the digitizer where the connector meet, and the original one is copper, like this, what we have here. So that's how you can ensure. And unlike the other iPad second generation, third, fourth, this version has clip connectors, so you can just actually insert it in left and right side. Okay, so what we're going to need is heat. So what we're going to do now is actually apply heat and work on the area. And just be aware there's two antennas here, and there's a Wi-Fi antenna up here too, so when you walk around it, be very careful not to damage anything. What I'm going to do is apply heat. Alright, now that I got enough heat, what I'm going to do is actually use a razor and my wedge tools. Alright. This one does not have the frame. This is similar to the iPad Air. Okay, so I got a wedge here. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the glue by adding heat. Alright, just be very careful, and you want to find a guitar pick, using the razor only as a point where you can lift the glass, but once you can, replace it with a guitar pick, so that way you risk the chance of scratching the frame. Okay, so it's similar to an iPad mini. Add heat in the corner. Okay, now let's just run it through. Once you get to a certain point, you go ahead and put your spacer tool in. Just carefully. Don't want to force it, so go ahead and add some more heat here. Alright. Spacer tool, hold it in place. with my guitar pick, go ahead and carefully run it on the edge to lift the glue up, adhesive. Now with the spacer tool, go ahead and put it in a space. Okay, now go ahead and rotate, work your way around. Okay. Work it carefully. Another spacer tool. Actually, let's go ahead and lift it up a little higher. There's still a little glue that's stuck here. Alright. Put another spacer tool in the corner right here. As you see, spacer tool here in the corner. And now add more heat. This technique can be used for all the other iPad also. If you do it this way, you never have additional cracked glass, and you're less likely to hurt yourself by getting cuts or glass shard in your finger. This is where the Wi-Fi connections are, so 3G connection or the LTE, so be really careful. That's why I don't use anything but I use the razor initially just to find a lifting point. But once I get the razor in, I only use a guitar pick. It's made out of plastic, so it doesn't damage any component or scratch the frame. Okay. And rotate around. I find that the other heat gun is a little too strong. It can cause damage to the plastic components. Hair dryer would be too weak, so this thing from Radio Shack, model number 6400212, which has it's 120 watts and it produces 300 watts out, is probably the best that I can find for it. And occasionally you probably need two if you have a repair shop, because occasionally this thing will go out on a fuse. It has a reset button. When temperature gets too high, it resets itself. Okay, I'll work the top pick a little higher right here. Then put another spacer tool in. Alright, so put the wedges in between, add more heat and run it down. Okay, I'll go ahead and put some more spacer here. here you will have glass shard, so you can't really avoid it. What you can do is just remove it out of the way. Alright, we're going to concentrate heat here, and we're going to lift. There are two Wi-Fi cables, one here and one here. These are the Wi-Fi connectors, so you've got to be careful around with your razor blade. Small pieces like this, you will need a razor blade to work around it. So I'm going to go lift this up with my razor blade, being very careful not to damage anything. So I'm going to get it to a point where I can put my guitar pick inside, and then I can take the razor blade out of the way. Anything with metal can be destructive in this process, so you really don't want to use any metal tools cutting into. Okay. Go ahead and put another wedge tool right here where you got it lifted. Work my way around this side. You can see there's no frame damage. This thing was just a slight impact on around the center. Okay. Again, be really careful. This is the original Apple glass and glue, so there is, glue's a lot harder. Okay. You can see this is the Wi-Fi right here. Okay, so go ahead now. You should be able to slowly lift this out. Aid of heat. Slowly lift it up. Top pick. There's a cable right here, a home button cable, so you don't want to nix it. Just got to be very careful when you pull it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, pull this up, pull the wedges out of the way, and work it up. Just set the home button where it is in its original place. Work the home button later. The home button to stay down there. Alright, and this is the Wi-Fi cable right here. See, the home button actually extends over. As you can see, home button's right here. So you definitely do not want to stick a razor that can damage the home button. As you can see here, the home button still works, so you want to keep it safe. Right now, once you get this off, the first thing you want to do is take care of the LCD, because you don't want any dust stain on it. So with this one, you can go ahead and remove the glass that's covering screw for the LCD. Okay, there should be 4 LCDs in each corner. I mean, 1 in each corner. And be very careful with it. Alright, so now we got to be careful here with these cables. Alright. Remove the LCD out. Alright. Put the LCD in the tray. LCD screw in the tray. Okay. And there's a piece of tape right here that's covering this LCD. Alright. Alright, so now go ahead and lift up the LCD carefully. Be very careful. Connector right here. So I'm going to go ahead. What I'm getting to now is this right here. Similar to the iPad mini. This is the plate that holds the LCD and digitizer together. Let's go ahead and unscrew that. Okay. And again, this is a live iPad, so be very careful not to get any static on it. If you can power it down, great. In this case, it's still powered up because this is my first time opening it, and I just want to check to make sure that everything is running properly in the process. Okay, now we're going to open the plate up. Here. This is the LCD attached to the plate, like that. We're going to have the LCD in the quarantine area. Okay, put the LCD in a safe place. And now we're going to go ahead and pull up the digitizer. Here you go. It's fairly easy. So now let's look at this real quick. So you guys are aware this has 2 Wi-Fi antennas on top, just like the iPad mini. And this is the 4G or LTE antenna, and they have 2 also, so it's redundant for stronger signal. Just be really careful around it. And now what I'm doing is just removing the glass from the rest of this component. Okay, so now I took all the glass off. I just want to show you guys the components, okay? So you guys understand when you build it. The home button is on, unlike the iPad mini, home button does have its own connector. You don't have to connect it to the digitizer. And as far as putting it on, it's similar to putting on the iPad mini home button. And it runs through here. It has its own flex cable. And what I did was I removed all the adhesive on the edge here. So what I want to do now is, using alcohol, I'm going to remove all these sticky, this right here, so I can use my new adhesive on it. Okay? So what I use is 99% alcohol anhydrous, and this is 99.9% pure alcohol, so it doesn't mess with the electronic component. I'm using the alcohol to wipe down prepping the area for my new adhesive that I'm going to use. And if I did have a customer that actually dropped a corner on here before doing the screen replacement, I would definitely need to straighten the corner. And the old-fashioned way I've been doing it before was to actually use a hammer and a screwdriver, but this one company in San Diego, California provided me with some of these tools right here. I can show you. This is G tool. Okay, and I got one for the iPad Air. The iPad and iPad Mini use the same setup. So this is a corner tool, straightening tool. So what you do, if you do have a bad corner, what you do is you go ahead and align the tool and to the corner right here, and then just straighten it up using the corner straightening tool. But my corner doesn't need to be straightened. So again, this is a pretty good tool to have when you're trying to fix a corner. Okay, this is G tool. Look it up online. I guess it's www.gtool.com. These guys are not giving me money to advertise their product or giving me anything. I just recommended this because it's a really useful tool. Okay, and we can go ahead and actually start cleaning the rest of this up. Alright, so now that we have this area clean, we're going to use a special gasket glue. You can buy this gasket glue from my shop at eBay. I sell it for about 15 bucks and should last you a little while. This gasket glue here is really great for putting the glass back on. So prior to putting the digitizer and LCD back on, what I'm going to do is go ahead and use my gasket glue here, and I'm running it on the edge. Just do it carefully. This is probably the best seal you're gonna get using this. It's a waterproof seal, and if you do have a customer that comes back a second time, it's actually easier to remove with this glue, but it sticks on really hard, so you don't have any issue with, like, you know, customer. If you use one of these spray glue or adhesive glue in the past, you'll have customer coming in bringing an iPad, especially in hot summer day, because once they leave it inside a car, it's gonna kind of weaken the glue, and then the glass will fall off. You might have unsatisfied customer where the glass rises. But with this particular glue right here, it's silicone base. It's really fluid. It dries. It's workable, so it actually allows you to actually adjust the glass, work into the frame, as opposed to all the other glue. And it's not that messy compared to other glue I used before. So I do recommend you get this glue. One bottle should last you almost maybe 3 or 4 months if you do, say, 3 or 4 iPad in a week. Again, you can get this glue about $15 on my eBay site. So I'm going to go ahead and put this, smear it all around. And now I'll go ahead and actually put the digitizer in place. Okay. Top half right here. Let me reposition this. There you go. Bottom half digitizer right here. Okay, make sure everything is nice and snapping. Snap down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put the glass component, replace the camera bracket back on, the bracket to the camera place. Okay. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and put the digitizer LCD back in here. Actually, alright. Be careful with the LCD. Can you hold this for me? Just a corner here, right there, yeah. Right, it's good to have two people working with you in this. Got my nephew here, the lovely Jeremy.
Is that what they call me?
Yeah. The lovely Jeremy. Alright.
Adhesive's going to dry up them out.
No, it's not. The adhesive should last a little longer. I work fast. From experience. Alright, so put this back in. Okay. Go ahead and rest this back down. Okay. Okay, go ahead and replace this back. The adhesive dries in about 15 minutes, so we have about 15 minutes to put this in. It's a pretty workable adhesive, so. Get rid of it. Try not to get the LCD dirty because it's really hard to clean. Alright, new fiber cloth, microfiber cloth. Alright, so now we'll go ahead between the LCD here. Be very careful around the edges to make sure that none of the silicone seal gets to it. Alright, so now once we're done with that, we'll go ahead and remove the inside glass tape, which is about right here. Just peel it out carefully. Okay. using a can air gun, just spray out any dust that might be falling this way. And home button already replaced. Go ahead and slowly fasten it back up in here. Alright. So I'll go to this side with the top pick. Go ahead and fasten this in. Okay. And let's test everything. Alright, let me show you the cool thing about my glue is that you can actually reposition this. And now I'm using clips. These gated clips that you get from Office Max or even the Dollar Tree. It's perfect for this task. It's keeping pressure on. I'm going to go to every corner. Gated clip is going to keep pressure on the iPad glass, so make sure everything is nice and flush. Cut a sheet of felt right here. Protect the glass in the frame. Put in my gated clip on. So, just going around with this. Making sure everything matches. Okay, put it in the corner. Right here. All right. I'm going to concentrate in the bottom area too. Alright, where the home button is. There we go. You want to keep it flat on the surface. Alright, and then I want to put one more up here to hold on this. And we're going to let this cure for about an hour or two. Okay, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like with the new adhesive. Okay, so now this is once we remove once the glue settle and remove the clamp and I clean it up, as you can see, look at the edges here, it's perfect. There's no, the adhesive that I use, the glue that you can get from my store, it's better than the actual original Apple, and as you can see on all the edges, nothing is sticking out. It's just perfect. It's all flush, just like the original. Every single edge is beautiful. And this iPad is ready to go. Alright. And this is Prak with iRepairmd. Safe repair.